let's jump right into this explainer. Imagine this. You're packing your bags for Dubai, setting up an exciting new life abroad. And right before you leave, you add your resident wife to your NRE account so she can easily manage the money back home. Makes total sense, right? Well, boom. FEMA actually says that is a strict violation. It's a huge trap that catches so many newly relocated NRIs completely off guard. You're just trying to do the right thing for your family, but suddenly you've got a major regulatory alarm going off. So today we're going to unpack exactly why this well-intentioned move gets you in trouble, how the whole system actually works, and most importantly, the exact fix so you don't lose your peace of mind. So here is the harsh reality of the situation. You added your spouse to that NRE account, but FEMA, the Foreign Exchange Management Act, has basically stamped that move as illegal. Why? Well, the strict NRE rule dictates that the account must be strictly NRI only. That means an active resident spouse is absolutely not allowed as a standard joint holder. It doesn't matter how good your intentions were, intention just doesn't override the law here. The second your tax status changes from resident to NRI, the rules of the game change completely. The government tightly controls how foreign currency interacts with the domestic economy. Your NRE account is specifically built for parking your foreign earnings in rupees, but with a massive perk of being freely convertible back into foreign currency. Because of that special status, the law builds a massive wall around who can actually touch that money. But, it's not all entirely locked down. There is a huge exception here, and it's the NRO account. Holding an NRO, or non-resident ordinary account jointly with your resident spouse is perfectly fine. It's really a tale of two entirely different accounts. While your NRE account holds those tax-free foreign earnings, the NRO account is strictly for income you generate inside India. Think rent from a property back home, local dividends, or just everyday household expenses. So mix up one account and you get penalized because it deals with sensitive foreign exchange, while the other keeps you completely compliant and lets your family manage local finances without a single hitch. Knowing which account to use for what is literally the absolute cornerstone of managing your money across borders. Now, this distinction exists for a very specific reason, and getting the core difference is absolutely crucial. NRO accounts allow an either-or survivor mandate with any resident Indian. They're built for managing shared local funds every single day. But NRE accounts, they hold tax-free foreign exchange that is fully repatriatable. That means the money can be freely sent back outside of India with zero limits. Because of that massive regulatory superpower, residents are legally banned from operating them on their own. For an NRE account, a resident relative, like your spouse, parent, or child, can only be added on a former or survivor basis, meaning they can literally only touch the money in the tragic events that the primary NRI holder passes away. During your lifetime, no way. They cannot sign checks, they can't use an ATM card, and they definitely can't initiate transfers. It is a strictly locked door. So what does the official rulebook actually say? The RBI guidelines reveal the exact, fully compliant way to give your family access. The language is incredibly specific here. It explicitly states that a resident relative can operate your NRE account only as a power of attorney holder, while you, the NRI, are still alive. This isn't just some casual suggestion your bank manager threw out there. This is the strict legal architecture of FEMA. If your resident wife is caught operating an NRE account as a standard either-or survivor holder, she's essentially managing repatriatable foreign exchange without the legal right to do so. And the penalties for this technical violation, they can be completely brutal. Historically, the rules allowed penalties scaling all the way up to 3 times the misclassified amount. We're talking a massive financial risk for what's honestly just a simple administrative oversight. Okay, so how do we fix this? Well, a power of attorney, or POA, is the practical solution. It is the perfect legal bridge. It officially grants your resident spouse the legal access to withdraw local funds and manage the household without crossing those strict international repatriation lines. With a POA, they get the legal green light to withdraw rupees for local payments or even remit money back to you abroad. But keep in mind, there are guardrails. They absolutely cannot make gifts to themselves or send funds to third parties outside of India. Setting it up is pretty straightforward, but you've got to pay attention to the details. You draft the POA, get it notarized and apostilled or attested by the Indian consulate wherever you're living right now, then you courier it back to India and have it stamped and adjudicated by local authorities. It keeps the household running smoothly, gets the bills paid, and most importantly, keeps you completely on the right side of the law. And listen, you really need to execute this fix quickly. Why? Because the 2026 RBI transitional rules are rolling out mandatory digital KYC and two-factor authentication, which makes detecting these misclassified accounts almost instantaneous. The central bank is practically forcing banks to supercharge their payment tech. So operating accounts via proxies or having your spouse just use your NRI-linked UPI on their personal phone, that is going to get flagged incredibly fast. Banks are actively cross-referencing residential statuses using immigration data and the annual information statement, which, if you don't know, is basically the master tax document tracking every single financial move you make in India. The days of flying under the radar with mixed status joint accounts are completely over. The systems are all talking to each other now, and manual overrides are officially a thing of the past. But hey, take a deep breath. If you've already made this error, it's okay. The FEMA compounding route means your regulatory violation is entirely fixable. Compounding is essentially just a structured legal settlement process. So instead of a drawn-out investigation or some terrifying court battle, you just voluntarily admit the mistake, plead guilty to the technical contravention, and ask to fix it. It is a huge relief because it minimizes your transaction costs, keeps you far away from a courtroom, and gives you definitive legal closure. And here's some really great news. Under the updated 2024 rules, compounding penalties for a lot of these technical violations are now capped at just 2 lakh rupees. Yeah, it's still a penalty, but it is a massive drop from the old, super scary percentage-based penalty system. It's a structured, incredibly predictable path right back to full compliance. The RBI has actually modernized this whole compounding process into a super simple 4-step action plan. Step 1, you prepare and submit your application digitally on the RBI's PRV AIH portal. Thank goodness, no more endless paper trails or waiting in line at regional offices. Step 2, you submit 3 specific annexers. These detail your bank info, exactly when the mix-up happened, and a declaration confirming you don't have any other enforcement investigations pending. Step 3, you pay a base, non-refundable application fee of 10,000 rupees to get the review started. And finally, Step 4, the compounding authority reviews your case and passes a formal order with the final compounding amount. You pay that designated amount, you get your certificate of compliance, and boom, your account is totally regularized, the violation is resolved, and all that regulatory stress is just gone. Getting this regulatory stuff right is absolutely foundational to your life and your peace of mind abroad. You've worked way too hard building your global career to let your financial setup keep you up at night. If you want to make absolutely sure your transition is seamless, DM me the word joint for a totally free account restructuring guide. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to ask yourself a serious question. If a simple, well-intentioned joint account setup can trigger a massive regulatory flag, what other critical FEMA rules might you be unknowingly violating right now? Could it be your local mutual funds? What about your property investments? Keep staying curious, get that financial house in order, and I will see you in the next explainer.